the United States of America has declared war on the people of Chicago and people across America.
That's right.
He's more interested in giving billions of dollars to other nations while farmers in urban cities around this country are literally being destabilized.
Then I have to listen to the mayor who's got a 5% approval rate, maybe less. He's an incompetent man. And the governor's an incompetent guy. He's a guy that was thrown out of his family business like a dog. And I know his family very well. And now he's a governor. And when I watch him trying to say that it's okay, we have crime under control, I lost 4,000 people over a very short period of time. Over, I believe it's like 7,000 people were shot, but didn't die. But 4,000 people died. And then he gets up and talks about how it's not a problem.
Boy. So we got to talk about woke Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson. You guys already know I love talking about woke Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson because he told us that we're not supposed to talk about Chicago. And since he said that, I've decided I'm going to talk about Chicago as much as I can.
Hi, guys. Welcome back to Kingdom Politico, where we do all kinds of reactions. Today, I'm going to be reacting to a gentleman, the Black conservative perspective. Okay. But make sure you like, subscribe, and share to Kingdom Politico and check out this guy when you get a chance. But I just want to comment on Mayor Johnson. Oh my gosh. This reporter, as you're going to find out, interviewed people. Okay. Interviewed Chicagoans. And unless you're living under a rock, you've seen other social media where Chicagoans are so happy that they have a military presence there so that they can walk to the store without getting shot. Their kids can go and play in the park, which is something that we all want. Chicagoans for years have had an issue with gang violence, so much so that the morticians in Chicago got together and actually formed some kind of club where they could try to go out in the street and advocate to teens to stop the violence because they were tired of having these young bodies, these young men come in to their morgues and having to do autopsies on them. So for this guy to say that there's not a problem and to spew all of the nonsense that he's spewing to the media is absolutely ridiculous.
Governor Pritzker and Brandon Johnson decided to lock out of the facility, right? Basically decided, hey, we're going to ban this guy from our joint press conferences because the questions that he asked are too tough, right? They're too tough. They make us look bad. So therefore, we're going to start locking him out.
In Illinois, Governor Pritzker and Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson held a press conference about armed troops in Chicago. But behind the scenes, William J. Kelly, the Chicago reporter known for hitting them with the hardest questions, was not allowed to attend.
Sir, you're not allowed upstairs. You need to step back. You cannot go upstairs.
This is my media credential?
Okay.
So I'm sorry, what are you saying?
You're not allowed upstairs.
Say that again, please?
You're not allowed upstairs.
And why am I not allowed upstairs? So you're going to... Hello, my name is William J. Kelly.
Yes.
I'm a reporter. I'm a credentialed reporter.
But I need you to step away from our screening area.
Okay.
Okay.
You see, I'm doing whatever you say.
Yeah. So you're not allowed upstairs.
And why am I not allowed upstairs?
I was told you cannot go upstairs. Okay.
And why not?
That's my job.
I'm a credentialed reporter in the city of Chicago. I'm going to have to talk to somebody from the press office. Could you, if you would, please. All right. Hi.
Hey, we're with the governor's office. You're
Yes.
not on our press list.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but I am a credentialed member of the press.
We're unfortunately not going to be able to have you. I'm sorry.
And your name is?
We're not going to be able to have you. We're with the governor's office.
You're with the governor's office, and you don't want to show me your press credential or your governor's. So why would I not be allowed to attend the press conference?
Okay, sir, at this point.
Why would I not be allowed to do it?
At this point, you're not allowed up. So I'm going to have to ask you to leave the building.
But why am I not allowed up? I'm a member of the press.
You're not on the list. So we're not going to go in a back and forth. This is state building. Now the Illinois State Police is telling you you have to leave the building.
Okay. All right. Well, I always obey law enforcement, but I'm surprised that you're not familiar with the First Amendment. It's called the freedom of speech.
You're not on the list. So again,
I'm not
you
on
have
the
to
list.
Yes, you have to ask.
But Marianne Ahern is on the list. Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Well, that's rough. I'm a credentialed member of the media, and they're telling me that I'm not allowed to attend Governor Pritzker's press conference.
Now, the right is always being accused of being fascist and racist and, being unconstitutional and taking away people's civil rights. Here is a prime example, okay, of a Democratic mayor and governor, I should say, not allowing free speech, not upholding the Constitution. And this guy has a legal pass. He has a right to be there. But a lot of these legislators are used to softball questions. They like to tell the media what questions they can ask. They don't want hardball questions. They don't want to be held accountable for the things that they do or the things that they're supposed to do that they don't do.
President Trump's deployment of ICE here in the city of Chicago, despite the fact that Governor Pritzker had no problem deploying ICE, the National Guard during the DNC. I'm a little shaken up right now. My First Amendment rights were just violated here in the city of Chicago, the city that I was born and raised in, the city that I love with all of my heart. And I've been told that I'm not allowed to attend this press conference.
Yeah. So you see, now you heard that. That is what the Democrats are doing to our boy, William J. Kelly. Okay. The best journalist in the country. They're saying, no, you cannot take part in our press conferences. And the reason why is because William J. Kelly, when he does take part in these press conferences, he brings the tough questions, right? Tough questions that Democrats hate answering. Okay. And that is what we have to react to here. Because unfortunately for Brandon Johnson, William J. Kelly was allowed at this press conference. And William J. Kelly confronted Brandon Johnson on his hypocrisy when it comes to police. Okay. And let's just say Brandon Johnson didn't like this too much. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it.
Over the last week, I've literally interacted with over 300,000 plus real Chicagoans who say that it is hate speech for you to evoke the Civil War, to evoke bringing back the Confederacy, to say that law enforcement is a sickness when you yourself have over 150 sworn police officers on your detail. What do you say to these people, and will you ask your 150 sworn police officer CPD detail to stand down if you and your wife Stacy are ever attacked, shot at, or rammed with a protester vehicle?
First of all, I'm sorry to hear that your numbers of interactions have gone down to only 300,000.
Actually millions, but personally I've interacted with over 300,000, believe it or not.
It went down this week.
No, it's going up. Higher than yours, by the way. By the way, check out.
Now, instead of dealing with the question that he was just answered about the 150 police officers that he has on his personal detail, that should be investigated within itself. That's, a bad use of city resources. I know I'm a retired officer. Why do you need 150 people on your detail? Is it because you're not abiding by the law and people see you as being crooked and maybe someone want to harm you? Maybe you understand that there's a gang problem in Chicago and that violence is that erratic that you feel that you're justified in having those 150 officers. Okay. But instead of answering a question, you want to deflect and try to disparage and disrespect this reporter by saying, you don't have that much coverage anymore. Now you're losing your audience. Let me know what you think.
Your comments. Check out the comments on your feed.
I think it's important to be able to make sure that to the people that you're talking to, though you're talking to less and less people every week, is that they know the truth. Here's what I've said. That
Please.
The addiction on jails and incarceration and the addiction of militarism, it is an evil. Dr. King made that very clear.
Really?
He did. And so I believe it's incumbent upon us to make sure that the real Chicagoans or the real people of America, instead of sending billions of dollars overseas, we should be spending it on the people right here in the city of Chicago.
Well, the real Chicagoans that I talk to, that I communicate with, mostly black and brown, actually, tell me that you don't seem to know the difference between illegal aliens and real Chicago citizens. They feel that you are siding with the illegal aliens over them in their communities. And sadly, let's get to the question. The real question is simply this. I don't know how to make it any more direct. An illegal alien from Nicaragua grabbed a woman on the north side last week, bashed her head into the sidewalk, knocked her unconscious, and raped her. If that had been your wife, Stacy, would you want ICE to deport her, to deport that illegal alien? Yes or no? Answer the question as a man, not as mayor, but as a man. Would you want ICE to deport that rapist? No? Okay.
Mayor,
That's the answer. That's the answer for real Chicagoans.
Mayor, sorry for being late to traffic's bad.
You're not blaming me for the traffic, are you?
Some people might not like the tactics, but I think the point is being made, right? Brandon Johnson, he claims he doesn't like militarism, right, or over policing, but he loves his police to be militarized, right? He loves to be over protected by police. Okay, his police detail is very robust, right? Very robust when it comes to protecting him and, the people that he loves, right? But when it comes to other folks, right? I mean, it seems to me that he doesn't really have much empathy, right? He seems like he has more empathy for illegal immigrants being deported by ICE than for American citizens who are the victims of crimes by the illegal immigrants, right? Because he got a whole lot to say about what ICE is doing, but he doesn't have that much to say about what the illegal immigrants are doing, right? It's funny how that works. No concern whatsoever about the crimes being committed against the American people by illegals in his city because of his policies, right? No concern about that whatsoever, but he's boo-hoo-whining crying about ICE on a daily basis, right? They've declared war on Chicago, right? Apparently enforcing the law is a war, according to Brandon Johnson. And to me, those type of ridiculous statements are part of the reason why his approval rating is still in the tank, okay? It's still in the tank.
Mayor Brandon Johnson still has time to turn things around before the 2027 election, and this poll is an improvement from an earlier one in which his approval ratings were in the single digits. Nevertheless, political observers say the mayor appears to be in trouble. There is a cloud hanging over City Hall, and it could be called approval ratings. A new poll on the mayor's popularity by the University of Chicago Mansueto Institute for Urban Innovation shows that citywide, only 26% of residents approve of the way Johnson is handling the job of mayor, while 58% disapprove.
I think he misjudged the voter when he thought that he could coast on the promises that he made, that he could coast on his agenda. He has to deliver, and people are expecting that. And so far, the poll shows people are disappointed.
The poll shows Johnson's popularity is underwater with every age and income group. Even though he's made affordable housing a key focus, he is also struggling with voters of every race. Even his political base views him unfavorably by 4 percentage points.
The folks that
black folks say, black people said, we don't even like this guy. But again, it's black folks' fault that this guy is elected in the first place. And what's happening to this woke mayor is the same thing that's going to happen to Zohran Mamdani, right? They come in promising socialism, right? All of these great things, and they're not going to execute on it. And the things they do execute on are going to be bad. They're going to be terrible. And that's what happens as a result.
Ignore numbers, do so at their peril. There's a big difference between coming out of nowhere when very few people know you versus making a comeback when everybody knows you and universally dislikes you.
Bowen says what's really telling is Johnson's record with CPS.
He was a teacher, and they had an expectation that he would at least get education right. And 2 CEOs and almost 2 full school boards later, the problems are worse.
In response, the mayor's office released a statement only addressing the issue of crime, saying Mayor Johnson is focused on continuing the progress that has produced historic reductions in homicides, shootings, and robberies throughout the city. Chicagoans care about making our city safer, and the mayor's record on public safety speaks for itself. But with other promises, the mayor has struggled.
If his image is diminishing, it's going to be more difficult for him to raise money from his supporters, and his supporters are going to start looking at other potential challengers instead of him.
It seems like the residents of Chicago are not happy with woke Mayor Brandon Johnson. If you take a look at this poll, right, this has Brandon Johnson barely getting 20% of the support when it comes to a possible challenger, right? Now, of course, the possible challenger, Maria Papa's here. She's a Democrat, right? So she's probably just as woke as Brandon Johnson, to be honest with you. But, you know, I mean, that's the current state of Chicago. I'm not sure they'll ever vote Republican, but my point is that Chicago is cooked, right? Chicago is cooked. Brandon Johnson is cooked. We're going to see if Chicagoans decide to go in another direction. At this point, it doesn't matter if they vote out Brandon Johnson, if they just elect another woke lunatic. Again, I remember Lori Lightfoot losing, and I was like, yo, there's no way, absolutely no way that Chicago could elect somebody worse than Lori Lightfoot. And lo and behold, it happened, right? So, you know, knowing the history of this city and some of these other woke cities, they may end up electing somebody worse than Brandon Johnson. However, we will see. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.
Now, let me know what you think about this whole situation in Chicago with the mayor and the governor and not allowing certain media in, claiming that the other side is, you know, they're fascists and democracy is, you know, is threatened and all this other kind of stuff. Let me know what you think in the comments. And if there's anyone here from Chicago, I want to know what you have to say. Are you one of the 300,000 that the reporter spoke to that said that they're not happy with the things that were happening in Chicago before? And if they're really happy that there are military there to ensure their safety. Okay? Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this content, and stay tuned for some more. Cut on that notification bell. Okay? Again, I'm Renee from Kingdom Politico. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.